Picture this. Over 4,000 years ago, a civilization flourished in the Indus Valley. We call them the Harappans. Their cities were wonders of the ancient world, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, with neatly planned streets, sophisticated drainage systems, and thriving trade networks that stretched for thousands of miles. For more than a millennium, they lived in peace and prosperity. Their urban life was cleaner and more organized than anything Rome or London would achieve for centuries to come. But then, almost overnight in the grand scheme of history, it all stopped. The once bustling metropolises fell silent. The great public baths ran dry, the intricate brickwork began to crumble, and the voices that once filled the streets faded into an eerie quiet. What happened to this incredible civilization? For over a century, archaeologists and historians have been on a quest for the truth, piecing together clues from the dust. The first and most dramatic theory is a natural catastrophe. Imagine the mighty Indus River, the lifeblood of Harappan society, suddenly turning against them. Some experts believe cataclysmic floods swept through the cities, washing away homes and farms, leaving behind nothing but mud and ruin. The evidence: thick layers of silt have been found blanketing the remains of Mohenjo-daro, suggesting repeated devastating inundations. On the flip side, another theory points to the exact opposite: a catastrophic drought. Picture the sky turning a hazy brown, the rivers shrinking to a trickle, and the once fertile fields cracking under a relentless sun. Climate data from ancient lakebeds in the region suggests a dramatic shift in monsoon patterns right around the time the civilization began to decline. A mega drought, lasting for decades or even a century, would have crippled their agriculture and forced people to abandon their homes in search of water. Then there's the earthquake theory. The Indus Valley is a seismically active region. A massive earthquake could have literally reshaped the landscape, shifting the course of the Indus River or its tributaries. If a city's primary water source suddenly moved miles away, it would be a death sentence. The city would have no choice but to pack up and leave. This could explain why so many sites were abandoned seemingly without a fight, but what if it wasn't nature that brought them down? What if it was people? For a long time, the prevailing theory was invasion. Early 20th century archaeologists proposed that nomadic tribes, sometimes identified as the Aryans, swept down from Central Asia on horseback, conquering and destroying the peaceful Harappan cities. It's a compelling story, but it has one major flaw: a lack of evidence. Archaeologists have found very few weapons, no signs of major battles, and no layers of ash and destruction that would indicate a violent conquest. The few skeletons found showing signs of injury could just as easily be evidence of local crime, not a full-scale war. So, if it wasn't a sudden disaster or a brutal invasion, what's left? The most likely answer is far less dramatic, but perhaps more profound: a slow, gradual decline. It probably wasn't one single event, but a combination of factors. Climate change was likely the main driver. As the monsoon pattern shifted and the land became less fertile, resources grew scarce. The complex urban system, which relied on agricultural surplus to support its artisans, traders, and builders, began to break down. Trade routes may have faltered, and the central authority that held the cities together could have weakened. Instead of a sudden collapse, people likely began migrating away from the drying core region, moving eastward towards the more reliable water sources of the Ganges River basin. They didn't vanish, they dispersed. The great cities were simply left behind, their populations dwindling until only ghosts remained. The spirit of the Harappan civilization, however, never truly died. Their legacy endured. Their innovative ideas about urban planning, their systems of weights and measures, and their incredible craftsmanship were passed down, influencing the cultures that rose in India later on. They laid a foundation that is still visible today. Yet the biggest mystery remains locked away: their script. The beautiful, intricate symbols found on thousands of seals are still undeciphered. They hold the stories, the beliefs, and the secrets of the Harappan people, whispering a silent language we are still desperately trying to hear. The fall of Harappa is a powerful reminder that even the mightiest civilizations are fragile. They can disappear not with a bang, but with a slow, quiet fade, leaving us to wonder about the lives they lived and the lessons they hold for our own future. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this mystery as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest enigmas. See you next time.